While Edward Said's Orientalism is more or less universally recognized as the foundational book of the discipline we call post-colonial studies, one of the major allegations against Said's book has been that his Orientalism is gender blind. While talking about the misrepresentation of the colonized by the colonizer, he does not take into account the nuances or the differences that occurred or did occur or would have occurred, you know, if the genders were different. Say a colonizing male representing a colonized female, or colonized female represented by colonizing female, so on and so forth. That has been adequately answered or complemented by Gayatri Chakravartis Pivak. Now, Spivak is a very interesting intellectual, and she herself is a mega event, I can say. Here I am not exactly using event in the Foucauldian sense, but in the general sense. She herself is a kind of a mega event because she is a perfect blend of post-structuralism and post-colonialism, and which can be said about Bhava too, but then Spivak's claim is more legitimate also because she is the one who introduced uh, the most significant priest of post-structuralism, Jacques Derrida, to the Western academia. Some of you may know that it was Gayatri Spivak who translated De la Grammatologie of Derrida into English when she discovered this book in 1967. We have the habit of going and buying books, and abroad or here in places like Calcutta and Delhi, lot of books come. At those days, there were not so much of advertisement before a book came, unlike today's book promotion and other things. Some newspaper articles, so she did not know who Derrida was. She took the book, bought the book, rather not took, yes, and then read it and found it interesting and translated it. She was admonished, we are told, by the guide. She was doing a PhD on W.B. Yeats, and and she was supposed to take a certain trajectory, but then she was told, though the guide himself was a deconstructionist, you know, told him that what she was doing is not possibly her line of inquiry. But anyway, she proved this worries and anxieties wrong, and she established Derrida and herself firmly in the Anglo-American academia, and now you can say the global academia. Now, having said that, subsequently comes her post-colonial slant, and whatever she does, post-colonial or feminist, there is always a little bit of deconstruction that she carries with her, of course, in her own way. She has not only, you know, uh, deconstructed post-colonialism, she has also deconstructed feminism and feminized deconstruction. Feminist in the not exactly feminized, but he has made it conscious of feminism, etc., etc. So a kind of a perfect example of interdisciplinarity also. Anyway, her arguably her most well-known essay and the most misunderstood essay is Can the Subaltern Speak? Now, originally it was published in 1983. It has undergone subsequent revisions by the author herself. And obviously, those of you who are interested will read those editions on your own, the texts. My job is to guide you to the text, basically, as I always say. A teacher's reading of the text, especially in literature, cannot replace a student's reading of the text. But I will just drop some hints, or rather elaborate on, not only hint, on what is at stake in the essay Can the Subaltern Speak? Now, who or what is a subaltern? On that, I have made another video, Understanding the Subaltern. Please watch that. Just a minor repetition that this was a term which meant disempowered people. I mean, Gramsci wanted to mean disempowered people by that, and he used it to mean the proletariat and other such disempowered classes, because he was writing his notebooks in the prison, which are put through or they rooted through scrutiny, espionage before they were passed on or parceled out to the outside world. A prisoner is an imprisoned person is entitled, right, to write to his family and whoever he likes, but these are to be processed through a certain route. So Gramsci used that to avoid being found out that he was still speaking for revolution. And then also the literal meaning of the term is basically sub means under, altern means other, one who is not independent, who does not have an agency. Now, agency means ability to act out of one's own will, volition, independence. This is again another important term in itself, agency. It is not the agency that we understand in the commercial sense of the term, franchise agency, etc. But agency is the ability to do, doability, if I can put it like that. Now, these subalterns, they do not have any agency or power. And we spoke about the generally disempowered. Gayatri appropriated this concept in the context of the colonized Indians and especially colonized women. Okay, so double or triple degree of subalternization. The case in point here is the much debated issue of sati. We all know that there was a custom of burning Hindu widows, but again, this was not ubiquitous among all Hindus as the British have represented or misrepresented. This was prevalent in certain parts of Bengal and India, and there were some local regions for that. One was also to protect the women, from Hindu women from other religious kind of influences, widows especially. In Bengal, the prescription was categorically given by Raghunandan Bhattacharya, Smarta Bhattacharya Raghunandan, a contemporary of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it is said that he changed the shloka of Rig Veda, which says the women with dead husband should get up and go back and marry, etc. The word was Pashyantu Yoni Miha Magre. Rafala, Raghunandan made it Pashyantu Yoni Miha Magne. That must be consigned to the fire. If you read Raghunandan's all the Smritis, earlier we had handwritten copies. We did not follow Raghunandan in my family, but in Sylhet area or he is not followed, but other parts of Bengal. That part is not there in Pivak, so I'm elaborating a little on it. But these days the entire canon of Raghunandan is found. Ashtavinshati Tattvam. Anyway, but even without Raghunandan also there are other prescriptions. So some widows were burned, and especially it was in the rich or say upper class caste Hindus, not among all Hindus. But this was misrepresented in, for example, novels or fictions like Around the World in 80 Days. So there again Orientalism comes in play, Western fantasy about the origin. Anyway, Lord Bentinck, Raja Ram Mohan Rai, and all those names, the Shoti was abolished. Now, Gayatri's point is very interesting. What was the Indian women, or rather Hindu women or Hindu widows' view on this? Not a single Hindu widow's view is on record. Whether she wanted Shoti or did not want Shoti, there may have been cases where, of course, this is a controversial issue. The widow may have wanted to die on her own, out of love or whatever. So then what would her stake be? So the decision was taken between males. Majority of the Indians, whom she calls brown males, wanted Shoti, Hindu Indian males, and all the sahibs, that is the white man, did not want Sati because the rhetoric of progress, humanity, and all that. And I personally am very much against Sati, let it be clear. Her deconstruction created confusion among people's mind regarding her intention also. So Gayatri gave a clarification in a video that abolition of the sati was an unquestioned benefit of the colonial rule, but that is not here at stake. What she wanted to say is that, and what I also want to say is that the negotiation is completely between two males, a homosocial kind of thing. It's not homosexual. The so the in a kind of thesis statement, she defines it as that abolition of sati is basically white men saving brown women from brown men. But what is the point of view of brown women? That is not on record, because the subaltern cannot speak. Afterwards, she talks about a young lady who who was found dead, rather who had hanged herself, committed suicide, Bhuvaneshwari Bhadhuri, during colonial Bengal, during the anti-colonial struggle. And then there was lot of this gossips that basically she had an illegitimate affair, because and that is very shameful for any Hindu society, any Hindu woman, and basically for Brahmin women. Bhadur is a Brahmin, basically upper caste. So she had committed suicide. But later it was found and confirmed, and Gayatri puts it on record that it was not any such case, and even in any case of unwanted pregnancy is also ruled out, because such things happened earlier. People committed suicide because contraceptive and other things were not there and social bonds are strong. But Bhuvaneshwari Bhaduri was menstruating when she was found dead. So the question of illegitimate affair and all that was not there. But more interestingly, what was at stake, she made an excavation and found out from family archives, narratives, that she, like many other ladies then, had joined those secret societies of Bengal who raised an armed struggle against the British. Aurobindo also was a member at one point of time, Khudiram and all that. And she was given a particular assignment to assassinate a British, all right, that she could not do. But at the same time, she could not talk back, like empire writes back. Because she won't be hard, because already the setup is very strong, whether colonial or anti-colonial, both are run by men. We have the Gandhis, the Nehrus, the Subhash Boses, but where are the equally strong women counterpart? Can you show any one or two maybe here and there? But it doesn't mean that they were not there. They were there, or even if they are not there, the position or space were not given for them to be there. So that is also one of the critiques of Gayatri about the traditional rhetoric of Indian national movement, that it is a very basically middle class male movement and not in that sense all inclusive national movement. Gayatri's part. There I have slight differences. So anyway, in Bhuvaneshwari Bhaduri's case also, she was suppressed by men, though anti-colonial, who wanted to kill a colonial man. She could not carry that out, could not protest, so she killed herself. This is the pathetic situation. So that is why the subaltern cannot speak. Her answer is categorically no, but then she is trying to make them speak. Because she has also elaborated the state machinery, even in contemporary times, it is not ready to hear the subaltern. Yes, that reminds me of another question. Why cannot the subaltern speak? So many women, say Dalits, the gay, homosexual, gay, they're all subalterns. They shriek and cry, so they speak. So that is not the point. So people have not understood Gayatri. Speaking, these are not speech in her sense, because speech is always dialogic. These are talks. Subaltern can talk but not speak, because speak implies that you are heard. So they are not heard, even if they speak, because there are others to decide for them. So just as at one level, we all Indians were subalterns for the British because they decided what is good for us, what education we wanted and all that. But again, among us or within us, the caste Hindu male, for example, were again the privileged ones by and large, who decided what was good for the women, the Dalit, or in a caste Hindu heterosexual male, we can say the homosexual thing is repressed throughout. So, especially in the British colonial rule. Now, I think you have understood now the point that this what this that the meaning of the essay, that can the subaltern speak? Cannot. So, but her message is not negative. It is our duty, or duties, if you like, that as intellectuals, as academicians, or as ethical beings, to try to give voice to them, to make their voice heard, not our voice, not what we want for them. That is again, time is, it is already 16 minutes. That is another interesting issue, because if most of the people who speak for those subaltern and all that, they basically bring in what they want for them. That is not important. What those suffering classes want for them, that has to be represented, and there till date we have miserably failed, and it cannot be done by political groups, formations of parties, because they have their own ideological lives, whoever it is. So the thing is here, the intellectuals, the teachers, the students, the writers, and any sympathetic and compassionate human being should take lead, as she herself is taking. She's spreading education and other thing among tribal children, Dalit children in the remote areas of West Bengal, and then dividing her time between lectures in Anglo-American academia and her ethical engagement here, so etc. etc. So I think the meaning is now clear. Please read the essay, meaning of Can the Subaltern Speak. So she has extended science Orientalism further, and in a very nuanced way, that there are subalterns within the colonial world, and of course with respect to the colonizers, we all were subaltern. So thank you so much.